Hello there, friends, and welcome back to the channel. It's your old mate here with your weekly fishing forecast, the one you've all been waiting for. We are looking at the week from the 26th of January through to the 1st of February 2026. Now, I've been studying the charts. I've been looking at the long-range weather models, and I've got to tell you, this is not a week for the faint of heart. This is a week for the dedicated angler, the one who knows that a bit of cold in the air often means a very big fish on the bank. We're facing a proper winter battleground out there with cold air from the north clashing with milder, wetter systems from the Atlantic. What does that mean for us? It means challenging conditions, fluctuating pressure, and fish that will be tightly shoaled up. But and this is the exciting part, if you know where to find them and exactly what to tempt them with, this week could produce the fish of a lifetime. So stick with me because I'm going to break it all down and give you the practical advice you need to go out there and make it happen. First up, let's talk about our prime target for this week, the magnificent pike. In these cold conditions, friends, pike are all about energy conservation. The water is going to be cold, likely somewhere between 4 and 7 degrees Celsius, which means their metabolism is way down. They aren't going to waste energy chasing anything that isn't a guaranteed meal. So where do we find them? You need to find the food. Roach and other silver fish will be shoaled up in the deepest, most stable water they can find. On lakes and reservoirs, look for the bottom of steep drop-offs, old riverbeds, or areas with significant underwater structure. On rivers, focus on the deeper, slower-moving glides, the outside of bends, and around any cover like fallen trees or bridge supports where baitfish might be hiding. My advice is to leave the fast-moving lures at home. This week is all about slow and steady. A static deadbait is going to be a killer tactic. A simple running ledger rig with a sardine, smelt, or mackerel presented hard on the bottom in one of these likely areas could be all you need. If you're a lure angler, think slow, very slow. Large, soft plastic shades on a light jig head crawled along the bottom with long pauses can be irresistible, or try a suspending jerkbait, twitch it, and then let it hang motionless for 5, 10, even 15 seconds. The takes will be subtle, often just a slight tightening of the line, so stay focused. Bright colors like fluoro orange or chartreuse can sometimes trigger a reaction bite on the darkest days. Next, let's talk about a fish that I know many of you love to target in the winter, the bold and beautiful chub. Chub are true survivors, and they will feed in conditions that send other fish into hiding. For this week, with the cold and often unsettled weather, rivers are your best bet. Forget the fast, shallow water. The chub will be seeking sanctuary and stable temperatures. Look for those classic winter holding spots, deep, steady glides under overhanging trees, and especially behind any structure that breaks the flow, creating a calmer slack. This is where they'll sit, waiting for a meal to drift past. So, what's on the menu? You can't go wrong with the classics. A big lump of bread flake, either free-lined or fished on a light link ledger, is a superb chub bait. Another fantastic option, and a personal favorite of mine, is cheese paste. A smelly, oily cheese paste oozes attraction into the cold water and is something a big, lethargic chub will find very hard to ignore. My little trick is to introduce a small amount of mashed bread upstream, just enough to get them interested without overfeeding them. And remember, dusk is the magic time for chub, so if you can, plan your session to fish into the first hour of darkness. That's often when the biggest, wariest fish make a mistake. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the why behind the forecast. This is the part that turns a good angler into a great one. The weather across the UK this week is going to be what I'd call turbulent. We have a real clash of systems going on. Milder, wet air will try to push in from the Atlantic, but it's going to run into a wall of colder air established over the north and east of the country. This means we can expect a real mixed bag of precipitation, rain in the south and west, but a real possibility of sleet and snow further north and on higher ground, particularly from Tuesday onwards. Air temperatures will be struggling, likely hovering between 3 and 6 degrees Celsius during the day and dropping close to freezing, perhaps to just 1 degree at night. That cold air will be chilling the water, which is why water temperatures will be so low, probably in that 4 to 7 degree range I mentioned. In water that cold, a fish's metabolism slows right down. They become lethargic, their digestion slows, and they only feed when they absolutely have to. That's why locating the shoals is 90% of the battle. They will be packed together for warmth and security in the most thermally stable water they can find, which is usually the deepest water in the venue. And what about the moon? It's a factor some anglers swear by and others ignore, but in my experience, it's always worth paying attention to. We start the week on Monday the 26th with a first quarter moon. Through the week it will be a waxing gibbous, growing in brightness each night until we reach a full moon on Sunday, the 1st of February. Traditional wisdom suggests that the days leading up to a full moon can be excellent for predator fishing, as the increasing light levels at night can make it easier for them to hunt. The gravitational pull will also be increasing, leading to stronger tides in our tidal rivers, which can stir up the bottom and get fish feeding. So the weekend, in particular, could see a real spike in activity despite the cold. So let's put it all together. Here is my day-by-day breakdown for the week ahead. Please remember, friends, this is my best analysis based on the long-range data, but local conditions can always vary. On Monday, the 26th of January, I'm rating the bite as average. The week begins unsettled with a mix of rain and perhaps some snow. The moon is at its first quarter phase. Fish will be adjusting to the cold, so you'll need to work hard to find them. Focus on those deep water areas and be patient. For Tuesday, the 27th of January, the forecast looks tricky. The chance of wintry showers increases, especially in the north. The weather feels unstable and the fish will feel it too. Bites might be few and far between. This is a day for a slow, methodical approach. A static dead bait for pike is probably your best bet. Wednesday, the 28th of January, I'm calling it improving. We may see a slight lull in the weather systems. Air pressure might stabilize for a short period. This could give us a brief window of opportunity. The fish that haven't fed for a couple of days might be tempted. I'd rate the chances as average to good, especially towards dusk. Thursday, the 29th of January, looks good. The waxing gibbous moon is getting brighter, and the fish should be getting more accustomed to the cold. If you can find a shoal of prey fish, the predators will not be far behind. This is a great day to try a slow jigging approach for perch around structure, or to rove along a river for chub. Friday, the 30th of January, is looking very good. We're now just 2 days from the full moon, and the gravitational pull is really increasing. The weather is still forecast to be cold with a continued risk of wintry showers, but the fish should be on the feed. In my experience, the 48 hours leading up to a full moon are prime time. I'm expecting some big fish to be caught today. Saturday, the 31st of January, is shaping up to be the best day of the week. I'm giving this a firm, excellent rating. It's the final day before the full moon, and everything is aligned for a great day's fishing. The pressure might be low, the light levels will be good for predators, and the fish will be at their most active. If you can only get out for 1 day this week, make it this one. Finally, Sunday the 1st of February, I'm rating as good, but potentially unpredictable. It's the day of the full moon. Sometimes the bite can be fantastic right through the day. Other times the fish feed hard, overnight under the bright moon, and can be lethargic during daylight hours. My advice is to get out there, but be prepared for the action to come in short, intense bursts. It could be brilliant, or it could be frustrating, but it certainly won't be boring. So there you have it, friends. That's my in-depth look at the week ahead. It's going to be cold, it's going to be challenging, but for the angler who is prepared to put in the effort, the rewards are definitely there. Dress warm with plenty of layers, take a flask of something hot, and stay on the move until you find the fish. Thank you for joining me. Please, if you enjoyed this forecast, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss an update. And now I want to hear from you. What are your plans for the week? Are you targeting a specific species? Let me know down in the comments below. Until next time, tight lines, and of course, ni chwosta, ni cheshwi.